Hi guys, as promised, I wanted to make a video to share with you guys how I do my makeup. This is my go-to makeup routine. This is something I would wear to meet up with my friends, or like tonight I'm heading out to dinner with my family, or even to work, maybe just minus eyelashes. So if you like this look, then stick around and you can see how I did it. I did put on these Wilma Schumann Hydrating Collagen Eye Pads that I got from CVS beforehand because I had the craziest dark circles ever. I must have jinxed myself with my skincare video saying I didn't have any dark circles, but after the long weekend we just had, my under eyes looked crazy. I'm putting up my hair with a claw clip just to keep it out of the way so we can get started on my makeup. I'm going to prime my eyes with this Too Faced Eyeshadow Insurance. This has been my go-to eyeshadow primer for over 7 years now. I like to lightly pat it all over my eyelid, right up under my brows. And I'm going to set it using this Sigma E60 large shader brush with a neutral shadow. I used Buxom's eyeshadow in Invite Only because I was nervous, but it's actually not the right shade. That should be my transition color. No big deal though, now that I realize it. I'm going to go back in with this correct bone color shade called Designer or Die. I'll just pack this over top. And see, you guys can barely even tell now, right? Next, I'm using this Smashbox shader brush to apply my transition color, that shade I incorrectly used earlier by Buxom called Invite Only. It's a great transition shade. I'm just going to use windshield wiper and circular motions to apply this into my crease and blend upwards. The circular motions concentrate the color into the outer corner of my crease, while the windshield wiper motion blends it upwards as well as towards my inner corner. Now using that same brush, I'm picking up the darker medium brown shade called Star Treatment to deepen up that crease. Again, similar motions, concentrating most of the color on the outer corners. Using the Sigma E45 small tapered blending brush, I picked up the color Filthy Rich, and I'm applying it to the outer V of my eyelids, lightly blending it inwards. With the MAC 224 tapered blending brush, I'm going to just really blend and buff out any harsh lines to soften it up. Using that same Sigma large shader brush from earlier, I'm going to lightly pack on my eyelid color, first with the shade Bold Bling. Then I'm picking up Diamond Darling to apply just at the center to brighten it up. It's a really pretty pearly white. I'm just going to clean up any fallout with a paper towel, and now I'm going to curl my lashes. I normally curl them before I apply eyeshadow because I think it really helps catch any fallout, but I forgot to, so we're just doing it now instead. Next, with my Pixie Correcting Concentrate Concealer in Brightening Peach and my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush, I'm going to cover up those dark circles. Now I know this is an eyeshadow brush, but it's really big and fluffy, and I love using it for under eye concealer. It's just great for gently patting it on, or stippling almost. Then I'm using the Essential Skin Enhancer by Kevyn Aucoin to cover up any blemishes, redness, or spots like this freckle or mole that I have on my forehead. I hate it. I keep thinking about getting it removed, but I'm scared to, so concealer it is. I'm going to apply foundation over this, so I'm not being too specific since I'll blend it out later anyways, but keep in mind with this product that a little bit goes a long way. I'm applying my Lumine Bright Now Blur Line and Pore Minimizer Primer, which I should have done before my concealer, obviously, but that's okay. We can apply it now and just touch up any concealer as needed. This primer is really my favorite. I love how well that it does cover up any lines and pores, and it keeps on my makeup all day. I feel like it does an amazing job, and it doesn't break me out, so that's always a winner. Now I'm going to use a damp beauty blender to apply my Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Fluid Foundation. It's my favorite light medium coverage foundation. It looks so natural and it's really easily buildable also. Every time I wear this, Chris always comments on how great my skin looks, so that's probably another reason it's my favorite. But I love how great it looks on. With my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer, I'm going to highlight under my eyes, applying it in a triangle shape. Then I'm also going to bring it down the bridge of my nose and the center of my forehead. I'll put a little bit on the center of my chin as well as my cupid's bow. Just all the areas that I want to stand out. Using the pointy side of my beauty blender, I'm going to blend this all out. I like using the round side that I use for the foundation to also soften up the edges so there aren't any harsh lines. Next, I'm using the Secret Brightening Powder by Laura Mercier to bake or cook, if you will. I like to take my beauty blender and pack on the product under my eyes where we applied that highlighting concealer. And any leftover powder, I lightly tap onto the bridge of my nose or the center of my forehead, just wherever we highlighted earlier. I also like to bake around my jaw under the areas we'll be contouring. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in medium brown to fill in my brows. I like to use a brush side to groom my brows first, and then with the pencil side, I use flicking motions for the front of my brows, and then short hair-like strokes to fill in the rest. I always go a little darker towards the bottom edge, and then I use a lighter hand as we move upwards. Now I'm going to use the brush side again to feather out any harsh lines and even it all out. I'm using my EcoTools Bamboo Flat Eyeliner brush and that same Maybelline concealer to clean up my brows. I'm using the brush just to apply the product, and I'm going in with a super old eyeshadow brush. I don't even know the name of it because I had it so long, but I think it came in an old Costco brush set. It's just a short, soft, fluffy eyeshadow brush, and it's perfect for blending out this concealer. With my Sigma F35 tapered highlighter brush, I'm brushing away that powder we were baking with under my eyes. And I go in with my Real Techniques blush brush to warm up my skin with this Chocolate Soleil bronzer by Too Faced. For me, this brush is way too big for my cheeks. I know I use a bunch of brushes for the wrong reason, not the reason it's intended for, but that's what works better for me. This one's just way too big for my cheeks, but it's perfect for bronzer. I apply it all around my hairline. I have a big forehead, so I like to take in the bronzer a little tighter just to make it look narrower. And then I'm also going to apply it to the hollows of my cheeks. We're not contouring here, we're just warming up the skin, as well as my jawline. So here I like to do circular motions towards my face instead of away from my face because I feel like it blends it more naturally. Using the banana shade in the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit and that same Sigma F35, I'm going to brighten under my eyes even more. Then I'm going to use my Real Techniques contour brush and one of the originals with the fawn shade that's more of a cool tone brown to contour my cheeks. I'm going for more of an easy everyday natural look, so I'm not doing any harsh lines here, just gently blending it upwards at the hollows of my cheeks to define those cheekbones. Okay, now I'm going to just brush away the rest of the powder we were baking with at my jawline. With the Real Techniques brow brush, I'm going to contour my nose. I like using the same fawn shade, and I just pat on 2 lines to shape the contour. Now, I do cheat a little bit to make it more narrower looking, but not too much. I just do 2 lines to kind of just shape out the contour. Now any excess product, I'm patting it on to my Soho eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to use that leftover product to contour the tip of my nose. It's just a really nice light shadow I'm creating to lift that tip. And then I'm going to blend out the lines vertically up towards my brow bone and down towards the tip of my nose for a natural shadow. I used to blend down the sides of my nose towards my cheeks, but I've stopped doing that because I feel like it makes my nose look even wider sometimes in photos. So going vertically up and down creates more of like a beveled, lifted effect, which I prefer. Next, I'm going to use the Smashbox contour brush to apply my Makeup Geek blushes. First, the shade Spellbound, which is a really nice, natural, rosy flush. And then I'm going to layer the color Romance over it for more of a peachy glow. Now we're going back to the eyes. I'm using Urban Decay's All Nighter Eyeliner in Perversion to line my waterline. I apply it using flicking motions, moving the product from my waterline towards my lash line. I only apply it from the center to the outer edge on top. And on the bottom lash line, I'm just applying the product right at the outer corner because I'm going to go back in and blend it in anyways. So on the bottom, it's nothing specific at all. I'm just placing product there basically. And using my MAC 219 pencil brush, I'm going to smudge that all out on top. I do take it in a little more towards the inner corner, but not all the way. On the bottom, I try to concentrate the product in the outer edge, but I do bring it in all the way towards my tear ducts. Essentially, I could have just applied the product onto my brush and then done this on the bottom line, but I like just placing the product in the outer corner. I feel like it makes it easier. With that same MAC 219 brush and my original eyeshadow colors, I'm going to buff out that bottom lash line with that darker medium brown shade, Star Treatment. This kind of just softens up that lower lash line. Then using my Sigma E45 brush and the color Filthy Rich again, I'm going to lightly smoke out that bottom lash line even more than that. Now with Smashbox's Limitless Liquid Liner Pen, I'm going to do my signature winged cat eye. I like to use my pinky to stabilize, but I don't want to mess up my foundation. So I'm pressing down on my hairline instead of my face. I create the bottom edge of the wing first and kind of outline it and bring it in towards the center of my eye. And then I just fill in that area. As I'm filling it in, I'm going to slowly tap the product along my lash line and bring it in towards the inner corner of my eyes. I'm applying Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara on my lashes, but I'm not being too specific with it since we're going to apply false lashes anyways. This is really just to blend in my natural lashes with the falsies better. I'm also putting mascara on my lower lashes because I feel like they look naked without anything. Mine are really fine, so putting mascara on my lower lashes really gives it more definition. For my highlighter, I'm using Laura Geller's Gilded Honey Baked Gelato Illuminator with my Smashbox number 22 fan brush. I'm applying it to the high points of my cheeks, and I'll also dust a little bit above my brows. I love these Smashbox brushes. I got them in a set, and I'm pretty sure it's still available, so I'll link it below. Now using my pinky, I'm going to apply Gilded Honey to the inner corner of my eyes, my Cupid's bow, and the tip of my nose. I also dust a little bit on my chin to bring that out a little more too. And then I use that same eyeshadow brush I was using to clean up my brows with the concealer. I'm going to use it with this Gilded Honey to add a little highlighter there too. Just a quick little dab. Now with the Eyebrow brow gel, I'm going to set my brows. I do this after the highlighter because sometimes I get a little bit of the shimmery highlighter on my brow hairs. So doing this afterwards really helps groom and set them. Then it's time for eyelashes. I'm using these Esquito mink lashes in the style Unforgettable. I do trim them a bit because they are too long for my eye shape. I don't have any special tricks for this. I just pop them on using Duo's eyelash adhesive in dark tone. I do let it get tacky a little bit and then I use my fingers to apply them. I've tried using tweezers before. I know a lot of people suggest tweezers. For me, every time I try to, I poke myself in the eye or I pinch my skin and it just hurts and it's painful and doesn't work for me. But if it works for you, that's awesome. I've been wearing false lashes for over 10 years now, so I'm really used to applying them with my fingers. For my lip color, I'm going to be using Too Faced Melted Liquefied Longwear Lipstick in the shade Melted Nude. This is by far my favorite liquid lipstick. The color payoff is just gorgeous and it stays on all day. You don't need a lip liner with it. You can use one, but you don't need it. And it's just amazing. It stays creamy all day. It doesn't get dry and cracked or anything like that. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous liquid lipstick. I'm going to layer Marc Jacobs Enamored High Shine Lip Lacquer on top of this in the color Uproar. It's such a pretty peachy coral shade, and these lip glosses are very sheer, so it's just adding a light tint. I'm using the Too Faced Primed and Poreless Press Powder to finish off my look, and I'm applying it with the Sonia Kashuk Oliver face brush that I bought like 5 years ago. I'm not sure if it's available, but if it is, I'll link it below along with everything else I've used. Finally, I'm going to set my entire makeup look with the Makeup Finishing Spray by Skindinavia. Alright you guys, so this is the final look. If you want details on what I wore with this makeup look, head to my previous blog post. I'll have tons of more photos there, as well as links on where to buy everything and all that good stuff. Thanks so much for joining me. I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please also subscribe because I really want to try to do more stuff like this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And yeah, thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.